Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make successful French macaron at home. If you haven't been successful at making macaron at home, this video is for you. I'm going to share all the tips, tricks, and secrets on how to make successful French macaron with beautiful feet, no crack, no hollow shell, and smooth surface. At the end of the video, I'm going to crack a couple of these macaron out to show that there's no hollow shell if you follow the video correctly. Let's get started. First, we're going to ship 46 grams of almond flour with 46 grams of powdered sugar. If your almond flour is not fine enough, I recommend to run through the food processor for about 10 seconds. And then we're going to mix them well together. For the egg white, today I'm using 40 grams of aged egg white. And before we beat the egg white, make sure that all the bowl and the attachment are clean from the oil. And I'm going to start at low speed for 1 minute. Today I'm using hand mixer, so I'm start with level 1. But if you're using the stand mixer, you may want to start with level 3 or number 3 on your stand mixer. And we're going to beat at low speed for 1 minute. After 1 minute, I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of cream of tartar to the egg white, and I'm going to beat at low speed for another 1 minute. The cream of tartar helps the egg white stabilize. And after that, we go to add 40 grams of sugar and divide them in 3 batches. Each batch we also whip at low speed for 1 minute. Total of 3 batches for 3 minutes. The reason why we beat them at low speed so the sugar can dissolve into the egg white slowly, and this prevents all the air bubbles that may happen later on, which cause the macaron have a crack or the hollow shell. After that, we're going to increase to high speed and whip for another 3 minutes to stiff peak. For my hand mixer, I'm increase the speed to number 5. And if you're using the stand mixer, you may want to increase them to level 8 or 9. And whip for another 3 minutes until the stiff peak, or you can upside down the bowl and the meringue won't drop down. And like this is good. And now I'm going to reduce to low speed and whip for another 1 minute to stabilize the egg white. This is very important step to prevent all the air bubbles and crack later on, which very important. And then I'm going to remove the attachment and hand whip for another 1 minute to really stabilize all the meringue, because my hand mixer, even at level 1, it's quite strong. So I just want to make sure. And now I'm going to shift the almond and powdered sugar to the meringue. I'm dividing half. And then I'm going to fold them. And now I'm adding the other half to the meringue, and I'm going to fold them until there's no powder. All the meringue and the almond flour and powdered sugar were all incorporated. By folding methods. And now, a very extremely important step. I'm going to let the mixture rest for about 1 minute. This helps all the ingredients stick together. And after 1 minute, now we can add any food coloring to the macaron. Make sure to use the gel food color or the powder food color, and no liquid food color to the macaron. Today I'm doing 2 colors, so I'm dividing half in each bowl, and I'm going to add the gel food coloring, the orange and the blue, to each bowl. And I'm start my macaronage process on the orange bowl. I'm doing the folding methods right now to the macaron, and then I'm going to spread them out around the bowl like this and fold them back in. This process helps all the ingredients stick to each other, prevent all the air bubbles, which call the hollow shell or cracked shell later on. And then I'm continue folding and then spread again. And fold them back in. And one more spread. It takes about 3 spread out like this and fold back in. And I'm going to fold them again. Because I'm doing the French method, the macaronade happen quite quickly, so I keep stop and checking after the 3 spread out. So make sure you kind of stop and start testing if you have the ribbon run down and not over mix the macaron batter. It's almost there, so I just need a few more fold. Make sure keep checking. Okay, about like this is good. ribbon, and I'm going to do the same thing on the blue color. For the piping, I'm using tip number 12 of Wilton round tip today, and because I'm using two color, so I'm using a piece of plastic wrap, and I'm going to put the first layer of the orange macaron on one side and the blue on the other side. Like this, and then I'm going to roll the plastic wrap together and twist them both ends, and I'm going to cut one end like this to put inside the piping bag. For the baking tray, it's so important that you use the aluminum tray instead of the dark tray because it contains less heat. And then you see that at the bottom here, I have the silicone mat with all the circle shape that already in there. I also put a parchment paper on top because my silicone mat has been used to bake other stuff. So I'm afraid the butter and the oil still stay there. And now let piping down. Make sure to pipe the tip all the way down and control your hand to release the batter. And then after this, we're going to tap to the counter at least 4 to 5 times to remove all the air bubbles. And I'm also use the toothpick to remove all the air bubble that I see on top. And then after that, we're going to let the macaron rest at cool place for about 30 to 45 minutes, depend on the weather and the humidity. Make sure that they have to be air dry at least 30 to 45 minutes. When you touch, you won't feel anything for the feet to really form. After drying, we're going to preheat the oven at 295 Fahrenheit or 146 Celsius for 20 minutes, then lower to 285 Fahrenheit or 140 Celsius and bake for 16 minutes. Add the second to the lowest rack. And after 16 minutes, turn off the oven and leave the door oven open for 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes, I'm going to take these macaron out. Look at this, how beautiful. And I'm going to let it cool down for 10 to 15 minutes. If you're using the silicone mat, you have to wait for the macaron cool down completely before you take out the macaron. Wow, look at this, so beautiful. All the feet was formed beautifully and no crack. Take me a while to figure out my oven temperature because usually home oven is much hotter than the commercial oven. And by using the big baking tray and lower temperature, that helped a lot. Look at this, my macarons. So beautiful with lots of heat, smooth surface, and no crack. And let's crack these macaron out to see if there is any hollow shell. Now look at this, no hollow shell, very dense. I hope you enjoyed the recipe, and don't forget to give it a thumb up and subscribe to my channel for more cooking video. See you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.